There you go. There's your warning that we are recording this. All right. So we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to go here, and here, here. All right. Welcome. So this is our Arborland Junior High program. Our focus is going to be building social, emotional, and economic independence through rigorous academics, service learning, and mentorship. It's one of the things we've been committed to since the very beginning. And I have to say, the kids are doing an amazing job with it. So we kind of want to talk about the adolescent first. So understanding the adolescent. Adolescence is an incredibly unique time in everybody's life. And if you think back to your adolescence, everybody's got kind of different feelings, but I think the feeling of wanting to fit in, but also wanting to find who you were, is one of the biggest goals that adolescents have during this time. So we're going to talk a little bit about the Montessori approach to adolescence here in a little bit, but let's just talk about just some kind of overall things. Teenagers haven't changed. So it's always been rebellion. It's always been about, the ennui and, kind of not fitting in and feeling like you can't be your true self where you're at. And so that's really what we're trying to change about that, is that we want this program to be a place where students feel valued, where students understand that they have the room to become themselves, in a caring environment that is going to help them make strides, not just academically, but socially and within their community, which is huge. Because as we're going to talk about when we get to the Montessori method of a Montessori approach to adolescence, it's really about connecting students to something meaningful. So, right now they want companionship. They don't really want to do school, and they want to be with their friends. Like, that's a huge part of what this new emotional kind of stage in life is like. So home, we picked this picture on purpose. If you don't recognize it, it's from The Wizard of Oz. And just the idea that home is this like dark, dreary place where like, nobody understands me there. I don't want to be there. Like, all they get is, everybody's just always picking on me and I just don't get to be who I am. So that's, again, kind of where students are starting to go towards. So they're going away from home and they're gravitating more towards their friends. And at a time where if they're not equipped with caring and knowledge and, a good support system outside of their home as well, the opportunity to make poor choices and poor decisions is greater. So that's that. And then, they have this vision of real life that, real life is all rainbows and flowers and emerald cities. And we just gotta, we just want to get there so badly. And as adults, we've been through that yellow brick road. We've been through that field of poppies. We understand that it is not as easy or as, beautiful as it looks in the distance, and adulting is a thing. And so preparing our students to be young adults in a responsible and realistic way and meaningful way is a huge part of what an adolescent program needs to have in it. So as we talked about earlier, we've all been adolescents. We've all been through junior high within different abilities, and junior high today is completely different than junior high was when we were in junior high, however many years ago that is, doesn't matter. It was, or how recent it is very, very, very different now as an environment than it was however many years ago you went to junior high. There's so many things that have changed. And what we did when we were building this program was we surveyed parents and students who had left Arborland to go to a public junior high and kind of talked to them about some of their concerns that they had with sending their students to junior high. Part of it was the social aspect. Is my student ready to be in an environment that has 300, 500, 600 students in it? And all of the things that go along with that. So some of the aspects of junior high that they had talked about being worried about were things like vaping. So I'm just going to show this real quick video about vaping, just to kind of show you how prevalent this is.
Take a close look. This student is outfitted with vaping devices, but you can't see them. Why? They're designed to look just like normal school gear for sale online and in vape shops, giving kids new ways to hide their vaping habits anywhere they go, including school. Great. I think every administrator who has a middle school and high school are grappling with vaping issues. Superintendent Melissa Barley oversees the Berkeley Heights School District in New Jersey. It's virtually undetectable. We don't know if a student vaping in a classroom. So would you know what to look for? When taking over a classroom at this high school, it's filled with student volunteers, like the guys, giving vaping devices and bringing teachers and parents to see just how well they do at spot the vape. I get to work. Here's one that's designed to look just like a black market. Dashing stuff all over the classroom. So this guy looks like a USB. It's not. It's a vape. And on students too. So people looks like some people wearing a regular hoodie, but underneath a vaping device. Some vapes even look just like school supplies. It's just like a pen, but the vaping device is inside, and you can write with it. Time to bring in our volunteers. I'm Vicki Lynn with the Today Show. What's today? This day. Okay, Mr. Ready? Yes. So you want to know if you can stop the vape. So we have our little discussion with vaping devices. Ready? I think I'm ready. You get 1 minute. Okay. All right, here we go. She spots a couple of them, but the rest of the guns got there, but breezes right past most. Before time runs out. How many of you had a vaping device that she spotted? Not bad. How many of you actually have vaping devices? But she missed 11 of the 14 items we did. It's good. If it could be just in plain sight. Some teachers spot a couple of the more obvious ones. That looks like one too. But most missed the harder to find items like this watch Sam was wearing. It looks like a smartwatch. If you had sin, so nobody would ever know. All 5 teachers missing this vape backpack. This one's got a hidden device right here in the strap. And the hoodie, you're missing the social ID for those who camera back. So what is one? And the hoodie, I think it's marketing. I don't know what it's right. This could be happening right under your nose. Absolutely. It could be happening in my house. I have a 15-year-old. So now, no hoodies. Even this school aide, a retired police officer, missing the watch and pen. What about parents? Will they do a better job spotting the vape? I think that's the vaping device. Not this group. He was writing with a pen, but inside the pen, parent after parent also mistaking the decoys for vapes. So it's putting this one together. That's just a marker. And they confuse the real vapes for regular items. What did you think this was? Didn't even think to look at that couple of marker or vapes. The most any of our volunteers spotted just 5 of the 14 items we did. That's 36%. I'm feeling great. It's very, very scary. An eye-opening experience for both teachers and parents. You have to hide something and there's something else. It's scary to see how easily we can hide things like that. And to be more invasive in the spaces and really actively engaged. Yeah. Now we reached out to the Vapor Technology Association. They told us they don't approve of underage.
Stop. So that's just one of the, issues that has come up in our public schools recently. One of the next things that, next slide, is cyberbullying. Everybody has an electronic device. Everyone has an email account, or, even if your student isn't on Facebook, they're probably playing multiplayer games with their friends that, can lead to stuff like this. So, and as they get older, they will have more and more access to things like, even just simple things like Google Chat and, you know, TikTok and Twitter and whatever they come up with next. So let's go ahead and I've got another little video for us to watch about the top 10 forms. Can you guys hear the video okay?
It's muffled.
I can hear you.
Can you hear the video though?
It was very low, like it wasn't too loud.
Yeah, I don't know how to, I'll try and fix that. So listen carefully. I'll try and put the subtitles on too.
Top 10 forms of cyberbullying. Cyberbullying is a worldwide problem that's growing fast. In this video, we'll take you through the top 10 forms of cyberbullying so you have the knowledge to protect your children. 1. Exclusion. Exclusion can happen in several ways. Your child might be deliberately excluded from online activities, conversations, or social media tags. Children who don't have the latest technology, such as a mobile phone, are prone to exclusion. 2. Harassment. Harassment is sustained and intentional bullying, comprised of abusive or threatening messages sent to your child or to a group. This can severely affect a child's mental well-being. 3. Outing. Outing is the act of publicly humiliating a child or group through the online posting of private or embarrassing information without consent. Even reading your child's messages on their mobile phone out loud can be considered a form of outing. 4. Cyberstalking. Cyberstalking is a dangerous form of cyberbullying in which attackers harass victims through online communications like email or social media. It also refers to adults using the internet to contact and meet young people for abusive purposes. 5. Fraping. Fraping is when someone logs into your child's social media account and impersonates them, posting inappropriate content in their name. Remember, everything rude or otherwise posted online may never be fully gone, even if deleted. 6. Fake profiles. Fake profiles can be created by someone to hide their real identity with the intention of cyberbullying your child. The cyberbully may also use someone else's email or mobile phone to harass them. 7. Dissing. Dissing is sending or posting cruel information about your child online to damage their reputation or friendships. It also includes posting damaging photos, screenshots, or videos online. 8. Trickery. Trickery involves gaining your child's trust so that secrets can be shared publicly online. A cyberbully will befriend your child, leading them into a false sense of security before sending their private information to others. 9. Trolling. Trolling means deliberately provoking a response through the use of insults on online forums and social media sites. A troll will personally attack your child, aiming to make them angry and provoke a response. 10. Catfishing. Catfishing involves stealing online identities and recreating social networking profiles for deceptive purposes. Catfishers look at your child's profile and take information to create a fake persona. This could involve using personal information, potentially damaging your child's online reputation. Please share this video with other parents to help spread awareness and put a stop to cyberbullying.
So again, that's just, you know, some of the more extreme issues that we've talked about, you know, that parents are worried about, and things that we can address, you know, a little bit more one-on-one. Safety is a thing with so many students in school. A lot of students that had, you know, that reported back to us, and parents said that, you know, one of their biggest concerns was fighting. You know, there's fighting in the hallways, there's fighting on the playground, there's fighting at break times. And so how do you keep your students safe from what other people are doing around them? Vaping, this student teacher ratio. So there's one teacher to 44 students in some of these classes. There's a lot of half days, as you can see with, you know, our students that are coming. And so that we see, you know, when we're putting our school year together, we see how many days these students have off, and the learning is affected. It's a lot more to fit into a lot less time. They have a really hard time finding mentors because they're there for such a short period of time. It's a 2-year block as opposed to a 4-year block like they will have in high school, where they'll have time to kind of really make more of those connections and invest more time with mentors, either upperclassmen or teachers that they come to get to know. And the lack of connection with teachers was another concern. You know, you only have the student for 1 year. They are from a completely brand new school. And how do you make that connection, especially when, you know, there's so much peer pressure at this time to be cool and not to, you know, hang out with the teachers and stuff like that. And tracked learning, you know, being able to contact a teacher when there's a problem and get an answer is huge. So these are a lot of the complaints of previous junior high experiences. And with our junior high program, we have tried to address them, and we have. So why is that not working? So our vision is to connect adolescents to a purposeful future in a safe environment that challenges them to be mentally, physically, emotionally, and economically independent. How are we going to do that? In a lot of different ways. So we're going to kind of get in right now to the Montessori third plane of development. So if you've been with us for any length of time, you've probably heard over the years about the different planes of development. So Maria Montessori developed this idea that there are several planes of development throughout your lifetime. So your first plane of development is your 0 to 6. And so then she splits that up into infants, toddlers, and then primary. And then you have 6 to 12, which is then again split even further into 6 to 9 and then 9 to 12. And then the third plane of development is adolescence. And so it's essentially from 12 to 18 years of age. And so we see the first plane here in infancy, we see the second plane in childhood, and then we really focus on this third plane of adolescence. So as your student is growing, a lot of them, as far as I've seen here, the students that you have, except for Miss Veronica, you know, your students are in that reasoning mind. Most of your students are in 5th or 6th grade. And so they're starting to understand the concepts of social justice and how kind of the world works. So they're starting to broaden what I like to talk about as like their worldview. So in 1st through 3rd grade, they're everything is about me. How am I interacting with my world? How's the world interacting with me? Is it fair? Is a huge part of that plane of development. And then, is it fair to me? And then 3rd through 6th grade, or 6 to 9 year olds, they really start turning that view outwards, and they develop more of an interest in why are these things happening? How is it happening? Is what's happening to me the same as what's happening to everyone else? And so they develop a lot of compassion and caring, and it's very uniform growth. And, you know, they're in really strong health during these years. They're developing intellectual independence. How do I find the answers for myself? I want to do it myself. You know, give me the tools to do it. And then when we get into adolescence, we're moving into more of a humanist mind type of mentality. And how do I fit in? Not just, you know, how do my experiences affect the people, but how do I fit into my world? How do I fit into this community? And they really want me to help. You know, the quote is, help me think with you. Help me understand what the reasoning is behind why we're doing this. So social, economic, and emotional independence is really what they're looking for. They already have the tools for how to find the answers academically. Now we start teaching them how to find the answers socially, emotionally, and even economically is huge. And so, you know, it's not just, oh, well, I'm going to, you know, get money from mom and dad to go do this thing. You know, for our DC trip that our 8th graders have coming up, they have to earn 20% of the cost of, you know, the trip. And it's not because anybody's short on money or anything like that. And it's not that we're looking for donors, but it's that idea that they're taking ownership of it. They're coming up with ideas in school and out of school on how to make money. Are they going to cut lawns? Are they going to do extra chores? You know, what is the agreement that is going to get them to earn the money and take ownership of it and not just have it given to them, so that they have that idea of, you know, I've worked for this, I've earned it, it's going to mean that much more. And so they're really transitioning from family life to life in society. So this is where our mentorship program comes in. This is where we start, you know, taking a look at the community that we have around us and what needs, you know, what interests do our students have and how can we plug them into the community in a really meaningful way. So this is our service learning and our mentorship program that we put a lot of focus on. So identifying the needs in the community, and especially with COVID the last 2 years, identifying how in a modified way we can meet those needs. You know, whether it's our school community, whether it's our community at large, you know, what can we do that can be of service, that can help people in the environment that we're in. You know, it says weak health. Adolescents are in a stage where they are more likely to get sick, especially with all the changes that are happening with them. They're tired, they require more sleep, they require more food, lots and lots more food. So one of the first things that we do when students come in is every other year is we read through the appendix for Maria Montessori's ideas for adolescents, and you know what kind of environment they should be in, and what her model school is like. And so it's always fun to kind of see their reactions to that. But you know, they also have great physical and psychological changes. They're starting to become adults, you know, so we call them, you know, baby adults, because that's what they are. And they start, you know, we're coaching them to make decisions and to take responsibility for those. And if they don't work out, that's fine. This is the time for learning. This is the time that they are still somewhat watched over and protected while they're making these decisions. They can talk through it before or after, and you know, we're here to help them with the consequences of those decisions as they learn. So it's been a really rewarding experience, I think, not just for the students, but I know for me as well. It's been amazing to see the development that they go through at this age and the independence that they gain. So again, adolescents are sensitive to social justice. That is a huge part of what we've done in our curriculum, not just through service learning, but it's part of our, you know, our health curriculum, it's part of our social science curriculum, it's part of our service learning curriculum, it's part of our literature curriculum, to learn about what is happening in the world around us and how people are dealing with it and how people are reacting to it in all different ways. Heroes and role models are huge. Again, with our mentorship program, this is really what we're looking to do, is to give them someone responsible outside of their family that they can find a role model for. And even if they decide that that's not a career for them, hopefully that it will be a relationship that they've built with another adult that can guide them. Personal dignity and belonging are huge parts of what it means to be an adolescent. Finding who you are and being proud of that. Again, in the normal time, in such a big, wide junior high experience, you can be lost. It's really easy to get lost. Sometimes that's a good thing, because then you can make those changes, but you don't get any feedback. So you don't know if those decisions are the right ones. And so, you know, having that close personal connection and really seeing our students and being able to identify with them and have conversations and discuss things that are worrying them or bothering them, or, you know, that they have questions about, those kinds of things are all huge. And belonging, again, we don't all have to be friends, but we all have to be able to work together. And economic independence is huge. Like I said earlier, learning how to make the money, learning how to, you know, trade in stocks if that is your thing, or, you know, mow some extra lawns, or make a couple extra dinners for your family, you know, to help earn money, those kinds of things. How can you achieve that? So Arborland Junior High provides what adolescents need. We've got teachers that are understanding not just of the curriculum and of what needs to be taught, but really of the plane of development that these students are going through and what their needs are. And connecting with the students is one of the highlights class. I cannot stress that enough. It is one of the highlights of our job. I think Mrs. A will agree with me that the curriculum is the curriculum. You can teach that anywhere. But to be able to have the connection like we do with all of the students, not just your one or two that have made an effort in your class, you know, to kind of stand out, but really to be able to have that connection with all of them has been amazing. The curriculum, we still maintain incredibly high curriculum and academic achievement standards, which you can see that we have continued to hold strong to through continued pentathlon, you know, testing opportunities that our students have had. And, you know, we've had several students who have decided that they want to be in competitions. And so we sponsor them and we make that happen for them. So really it's student driven. How much do they want to achieve? They're expected to achieve a lot, and then they are encouraged to go over that. Part of, you know, the curriculum is if we can't offer it, let's find out who can. So we have students that have for the past 2 years now decided that the spring elective was going to be their time to take college courses. So we have a student who has 2 college courses in computer sciences, one completely finished from last year and one that is being started right now with our spring semester. And to see them achieve that and be able to handle it and know that they can has been huge. We have a safe and secure campus. You know, you may see our students, you know, walking the park, but that is never without supervision and times and guidelines set of, you need to be back at this time, you need to have your phones on you, we will be checking in. So stuff like that. So being able to have that relationship where we can trust them and they can trust us to be there and set those boundaries for them. Electives are amazing. Oh my gosh, our electives are so much fun. So we take surveys of what the students are interested in, and that is how we get our electives. We have done culinary, we've done STEM, we've done technology, we've done video production, we've done digital media, like just so many, and the possibilities are endless for what we can do for electives and really what the students are interested in. Service learning has been just an amazing opportunity to see what these students can do. They find the problems that are facing our community and they come up with real life solutions. Mentors, our mentorship program is starting up actually this week, and we are incredibly excited that, you know, not only our Arborland community, but our Fullerton community has stepped up and is offering mentorship to our students in finance, in law, in business, in art, in forensics. We have one student who's going to be placed at the Fullerton Police Department Crime Lab to be able to do her mentorship. So it's architecture, you know, all of these things that the students are interested in, that they've developed this kind of intrigue for over the last couple of years. That's what they get to go in and learn more about. And then parents, the communication, you know, that we've had with you guys through our entire run at Arborland doesn't change. You know, we're still here by email. We're still here, you know, by phone call. We're still here to answer your questions and to have that one-on-one with you to support you and your students. I'm losing it again. Sorry. If I get spotty, I apologize. So how will Arborland Junior High work? This was a question we asked and we answered. So the curriculum, academics, we have our core subjects. Our math offerings are pre-algebra, algebra, and geometry at this time. So all incoming students take a placement test for math. And so if they score high enough, they are placed in 7th grade in algebra. Otherwise, they're in our pre-algebra course. It's an accelerated pre-algebra course, so they are ready for algebra when they get into 8th grade. And then our 7th grade algebra students go to 8th grade geometry. And Mrs. A has been doing an amazing job taking over our math program, and she is just fantastic. So our science, we split up. So instead of doing 7th grade biology and 8th grade chemistry, we have decided to do a multi subject approach to our science. So each quarter is split up into a different science. So we rotate through. So for both 7th and 8th grade, quarter one is health. For 7th graders, it does include the sex ed portion of, you know, of that. And then we transition into some other topics there. And then 8th grade, we do more of the personal body health, nutrition, diet, social emotional health, things like that. Then we transition into biology and then chemistry and then physics. And so what we've done is we've taken what they would normally do and we've split it into the two years. So we cover that. For social science, we follow the California 7th and 8th grade plans. So for 7th grade, we do world history from ancient history to exploration. And then we do American history, again, from exploration up through past the Civil War. So we end up going through kind of some of the more modern industrial revolution and industrial age. So we end up going through there. For language arts, we have quite a bit of time dedicated to language arts because we roll language arts, writing, grammar, and all of that into one class. So that's actually our longest class of the day. And it's literary analysis. We have presentations. There's a lot of essay writing. There's a lot of interaction, not just on, not just with the literature, but also with one another and critiquing and learning and discussing with each other what the literature means and how it affects us and how it changes the world. So that's really interesting. And then technology. So we've integrated technology into all of our core curriculum. Our math platform is online. Of course, they still have to do their work and show their work. And that is a constant struggle, I am sure. Are you guys all frozen? Nobody's moving. It might just be me. And I'm back. Sorry about that. I am at school, but we are just having some difficulties today. I apologize. So can you guys, let's see. There we go. Are we back? Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Sorry about
Yes.
that. What was the last thing you actually heard me say?
They have to show their math work when they take it online.
Good. Yes. Excellent. Okay. So math work, they do still have to show their work, but our math platform is very similar to what they're doing now in 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. It's the same platform. It's Savas. It's just a higher, it's their higher levels of math. The same thing with literature. So actually, literature's still the McGraw-Hill program, but we've changed over to a program called StudySync, which is what's being used in the public schools as well. And so we're able to do a lot of our interaction with that kind of stuff online, which really works for this age because they're more able to concentrate with online work. And it's something that they're going to have to be trained to do for high school as well. World languages, currently we offer Spanish and Mandarin Chinese to continue with the learning that the students have already gotten throughout the 6 years that they've been here at Arborland. So we start, so we'll do, it's a 5-day elective. It's not elective, it's a 5-day required class. So they have to choose either Spanish or Mandarin when they start, and it is a 2-year commitment. The idea is that when they get through those 2 years of their foreign language, that they're able to test out of their first year of language in high school. So instead of starting in Spanish 1 as a freshman, they would start in Spanish 2. So that is where we're doing there. And then PE. So most of our our elementary students have PE once a week, and they do a lot of outdoor activities and they go out and play at recess. Physical health is incredibly important for the adolescent. Their bodies are going through so many changes. Their nutritional needs are changing. Their sleep needs are changing. Their physical needs are changing. And so to help keep up with that, we also make PE a 5-day-a-week required course. And we do not just the different units like yoga and badminton and the fun things that the students in our upper and lower elementary are able to do, but we also do know that there is state testing and state requirements for PE. And so we incorporate that into our curriculum as well. So things like timed run of the mile. I think this week they did their sit-up test and their push-up test. And so they'll be doing different things like that. Good. Everybody has to keep nodding and blinking so that I know that I haven't frozen again. And as soon as I said it, you all froze. So personalized electives. So our personalized electives are really important. This is really what sets us apart from so many other programs, is that we take our elective offerings directly from our students. We give a survey, we tally up the votes, we let them make their final decisions, then we usually offer 3 or 4 in the final vote, and then they get to choose what they would like to do. So like I said, the electives that we've offered so far have been video production, personal finance, we've done STEM, we've done technology, we did a culinary class, we've done art twice. And so it's really interesting, digital media. So to be able to offer these as to what the students want has been hugely, hugely successful. The kids get really excited about it. They get to direct their learning. And then again, if it's something that they feel like they have a better opportunity with a college class to get what they want, we support them in that need as well. So that's been one of the really exciting things. It does take a little bit more parent involvement on that one because you got to get them signed up. But we are happy to provide the support system for that. And especially nice right now because most of the college classes at the local community colleges are online, which makes, as long as it's not a set time that they have to meet, it makes the learning a lot easier if your student is self-directed. So that's been really great. And again, the opportunities of what we can offer are endless. So we're excited about that. It's always fun to figure out what we're going to do next. Service learning. So our service learning, when we came up with this plan, was very exciting. We were very excited about doing, let's go to the animal shelter, let's go to a retirement home, or let's go out and do stuff. And then COVID. So, as we were planning all of this and putting all of this together, we were in the midst of COVID and we did not know how long it was going to last. We did not know how it was going to affect everybody in our daily lives. And I have to say the kids have been incredibly resilient and incredibly creative in coming up with ways to still connect to our community, even though we can't go as many places as we would like to. So one of the things that they started was this recycling program. As you can see here in the actual picture, it's just outside of Albertsons down the street. We collect recycling. We go recycling every 2 weeks and we make a bunch of money and then they use it in the classroom. So we just bought ourselves some microphones, some specialty microphones for our video production class. We purchased other things. What else did we purchase, Mrs. A? Lights. We purchased lights.
Lights and the curtains for, the backdrop.
Yeah, for performance gallery night. So we recycle that money into our classroom as the students need it. Grandma's House of Hope was a super rewarding program that one of our students actually turned us on to. And so we were able to go and put food bags together for them. And that was hugely helpful. We're hoping that that's something that Mrs. A and the 7th graders will be able to continue in the spring. And then donation drives, which I'm sure you all are familiar with because hopefully you've seen the signs. But during the season of giving through, November and December, the students decide what organizations they feel should receive our wealth of donations. And then we put the flyers together and we research. And so this year we did, not Grandma's House of Hope, we did a local Fullerton, I can't remember the name of it right now, but we did hygiene kits for them, and then we did barks of love. We did pet donations. So that was really, really rewarding for the students to see what people give. And they just are always so overwhelmed. And of course, the agencies that we work with are incredibly overwhelmed and grateful as well. So it's been good. Our mentorship program. So this is something that we are starting with the 8th graders this year, and we were so excited about this. So I'm sure you've all seen the email. We reached out to our Arborland community first, because that's really what we're looking to do. Our community, people that we trust, people that we know are great at what they do, you know, and giving the students not only an opportunity to see that, you know, schools and other people's parents can be resources as well, but to show them that a community like this can provide you with so many opportunities and networking and information. So like I said, one of our students is really into architecture. And so we have set her up with a local architect who happens to be a father of a student, you know, and again, with everything that's going on with COVID, you know, part of the, how are we going to do this, you know, when so many people are still working from home, and how is this going to work? And so, you know, we set up Zoom meetings, and we set up, you know, outlines, and we've got emails going and things like that. So it's amazing. Attorneys, we do have a student going to, and this is one of the students that will be going on site with another parent to the law firm. And so that's going to be really exciting. And the one I'm really excited about, like I said earlier, was forensics, you know, being able to connect not just with, you know, parents, but with our actual community. So we reached out to the Fullerton Police Department, and they are going to be happy to assist us with this. In fact, the girl who's doing that internship went and did her live scan fingerprint and signed, she said, about 80 forms today. And so she's really excited to be able to enter that workforce as well. And we're excited to see her, and I can't wait to see how that one's gonna go. So our typical day, we do start at 8 a.m., which I know is a little bit earlier than what our students are used to, but it's nice because you can drop them off at 8. And then if you've got another one, you can drop them off at 8 too. And then you can get that extra half hour of time. So right now, because we do run the 2 classes simultaneously, like periods, we switch rooms. So in the morning, our 8th graders will come in, everybody comes in through the same room, they check their temperature, they get settled. The 8th graders start with me for literature, and the 7th graders go to Mrs. A for math. And then they get their break, and then the 7th graders come to me for literature, and the 8th graders go to Mrs. A for math. And then we again switch. So we have all these periods, they do have a break time, and then they're moving in between classes. So they're not just sitting in the same spot all day long, which is a challenge for their focus for sure. So then we switch and we do 7th grade science and 8th grade social science. And then they switch again and we do 8th grade science and 7th grade social science. And then we have lunch. So one of the things one of the students just said to me, not even 2 weeks ago, was, you know, at first I really thought I was going to miss having recess before or after lunch. And she's like, now PE is my recess and we get it every day and it's even longer. So I love it. So she's been really excited to see that. And so that idea of, you know, that recess time isn't really lost. If you look at a typical junior high campus, there's not a lot of kids playing at recess. They're sitting around talking. Maybe a game of basketball is happening, but there's really not a dedicated recess time. It's, you know, eat your lunch and then you can have your time to socialize, which we give them here as we can with COVID restrictions. We have taken to eating outside and the students are really enjoying that. So that's been really nice. Then we have, this year we have PE. The schedule is going to change year to year, but this is our typical day right now. So right now we have lunch from 12:10 to 12:40, and then we have PE from 12:40 to 1:30, which has been really great. We're going to see how that continues to work out in this heat, but it'll be fun. And then we come back for our elective. That elective stays the same time, and it just what the actual elective is changes. So currently Mrs. A is running a STEM elective and I'm running a video production elective. Then we meet every day for our foreign language. And then we meet for our class planning period. And so our class planning period is a time to, you know, make sure that we are up to date on our Valentine's Day grams, or make sure that the rehearsal schedule is set for gallery night. So every day it's a little bit of time to check in and just make sure that we've got our projects going, that they're working on whatever their assignments are for that week. Hey, did you guys pay for your DC trip? It's due tomorrow. You know, stuff like that, where you can check in and just make sure that they're on the right track for all of their service learning and everything else. So our afternoon, so let's see what the next slide is. This is what I was looking for. Okay, so a typical week. So 4 days a week, we have 8 a.m. to 3:45 p.m. academics. So that includes our social science, science, and elective. Then 1 day a week, we actually take 3 hours out of that day and we devote it to service learning. So we found that this works best on a Friday to do this. And so last year we did it in the afternoon. This year we've moved it to the morning, depending on how everybody's schedule aligns next year. Could be either time, but we've really found that this dedicated service learning time 1 day a week has been hugely helpful. So not only does it give us the time to do the mentorship at a specific time each week with our students and to, you know, kind of coordinate how that's going to happen, but also it gives us the time to go out and do recycling, to go out and do projects at Grandma's House of Hope, to take time to run a rehearsal for gallery night, you know, things like that. So that's a really important chunk of time that we've been able to use. And so what we do is the fifth day, so our Fridays, we don't have science, we don't have social science, and we don't have our electives. So our science, social science, and elective are 4 day a week classes. And so what we do with those 50 minutes, those 3 sets of 50 minutes, we take those and we convert them into a block for service learning. It has not affected any of what we're able to teach, again, because we don't take half days, because we don't have teacher in services during class, you know, class days. We make sure that all of our parent meetings are after school. We're not taking that kind of time away from the students learning in class. And so we're able to rearrange that time to do more academic and service learning, which has been really wonderful. So the idea is that the students will, through academics, through personalized electives, through mentorship and service learning, understand the meaningful purpose of who they are as a person, and how they fit into their society, and not just, I have to go to school because I have to go to school. It's, I go to school because it's a place for me to learn. It's a place for me to follow what I'm passionate about academically. It's a place for me to find guidance. It's a place for me to connect with my community, not just with my, you know, my friends or Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, but within every facet of my life. And so that's been really what our goal is. And then that meaningful purpose, you know, is going to lead out to the keys to success, which is to connect with high school programs. Again, because of COVID, this has not been as prevalent yet. We did do several campus tours where the students were able to connect with the local high schools. And then, of course, when we were at Sunny Hills, they were able to, you know, reconnect with some of our alumni that are there. So that's been, you know, they reconnected with them and talked to them so they know, like, oh, hey, there are other people here that have been to my school. I'm not just the only one. So that is definitely something that we will be continuing to pursue, to connect with high school programs, hopefully as COVID restrictions lessen, we'll be able to do that a little bit more freely. And so the idea was for some of the programs to connect the student to ag programs, or, you know, the video production programs, stuff like that, whether it's after school clubs or during school learning. So we're still working on that, but it is definitely the idea. And even without that, I think our students have confidence in who they are and problem solving skills to be able to continue being who they are in a larger setting. And the transition to real life, you know, key to success is to show what real life is like. Real life is amazing. Adult life is fantastic. Yes, you get to make a lot of decisions. The flip side of that is that you have to make a lot of decisions, and sometimes those decisions don't go as well as you would hope. And so what are you going to do when that happens? How are you going to solve that problem? So those problem solving skills, again, are key. And so it's, you know, everybody messes up. Everybody messes up. You know, the idea is at this age, don't make them so fearful of messing up that they're going to get punished or they're going to get in trouble, especially here at school. But know that we are here to support them through these decisions. And yes, if they make a bad decision, there will be consequences, but it doesn't mean that, you know, we're angry with them or we don't like them or we're not going to talk to them. It just means that, you know, we're going to have a discussion about it, and you're going to have to face those consequences. And what can we do next time, you know, to make it happen or to make it not happen or to choose more wisely. So yeah, again, you unveil the smoke and mirrors of what it's like to be an actual adult, you know, and the decisions and what is real and what do you need to take closer look at and how does that, you know, turn into your everyday life. So the application process is pretty simple. There's an online student application. There's an online parent application. Yes, both have to be completed. There is one essay question. Actually, there are several essay questions. Your child only has to answer one of them. There's an application fee and then the recommendation letter. So the recommendation letter can be from anyone that your student has worked with that is not part of your family. So it could be from their 6th grade teacher. It could be from their, you know, 5th grade teacher. We'd like it within the last 2 years. So if your student has difficulty with that, we can work around it. But a coach, a Boy Scout leader, a teacher, a piano teacher, anybody that's not related to you or a specific family friend. And it's just a simple recommendation letter. These come automatically as a 6th grader from Arborland. At your spring parents meeting, you will receive a recommendation letter of sorts. And so that is absolutely acceptable as the recommendation letter as well. So you can go to our website and get started on that as soon as you'd like. So the past couple of years we've done, we also do a student interview. Is that? No. That's not on there. We do a student interview. And part of that is just that we want to get to know your student. We want to get to know your student a little bit better on their own about what they're interested in. And basically what we do is we take a look at their application and we ask questions about the stuff that they're interested in. And it's not a pressure thing. It's just a, hey, we'd like to sit down and talk to you and let you know that we're here for you. And we have, you know, we want to know what you're interested in so that we can show you, you know, we can provide that for you. So that used to happen in the summer, but I believe that we are going to switch that. Yes. That's a wonderful way to say that, Dr. Chen. Thank you. We want them to take part and take pride in their own education. Taking responsibility for their education is a lot of what junior high is about. Students are expected to communicate with their teachers when they have a question. They are expected to be part of the planning process. They are expected to be part of their conferencing. So they have a realistic idea of what the next steps are and where their strengths are and where they need to grow and to really take pride in their direction and their education for what they're doing with that, as well as all of the other things that we've talked about. You know, this is a student-driven program. We guide them and we help them to craft opportunities, but it really is all from them, which is a huge part of success for this program and a success for our students. So there is a student interview. Like I said, we had been doing those in the summer, but I believe that we're moving them earlier in the year because I know a lot of you are, I know a lot of other junior highs are kind of expecting that applications and things are done now. So we will be doing those sooner than the summer. And I don't have those exact dates yet, but we will definitely let you know. It will not be a surprise. So yeah. All right, now is when I open it up to questions.